Pitt and Angelina Jolie's divorce has shocked millions of people around the world who for some reason are personally invested in the personal lives of people that they will never meet. But did you know that 80 years ago, the original Brangelina broke up, which means that all of this is really just Hollywood history repeating itself. So take yourself down a peg, Pitt. Long before Brad plus Angelina equaled Brangelina, Douglas plus Mary equaled Derry. During the heyday of the silent film era, Douglas Fairbanks Sr. and Mary Pickford were dubbed the King and Queen of Hollywood, beloved by audiences for their on-screen athleticism and charming sausage curls, respectively. But in 1916, when they met, old Dougie and Mary couldn't become Derry because both Derry and Mary were married. What? But they were also two of the first A-list celebrities ever, with Mary Pickford already nicknamed America's Sweetheart and running her own production company by the tender age of 22 BTW, while Douglas Fairbanks Sr. was busy becoming the silver screen's favorite swashbuckling hero. So of course, such a power couple couldn't let a little something like the sanctity of marriage get in the way of their lust. During their 3-year affair, old Dougie and Mary kept busy outside the bedroom too. First of all, selling war bonds for World War I, so that was nice, but also in 1919, getting together with their old pals Charlie Chaplin and D.W. Griffith to begin a little company you might have heard of called United Artists, which was intended to give actors like themselves more creative and financial control, making it somewhat like a title for talkies. And then later that year, Douglas Fairbanks Sr. finally threw in the towel with his Jennifer Aniston, so to speak, a Rhode Island trust funder named Annabeth Sully. Dougie, how could you? And Mary Pickford followed suit a few months later, calling it quits with her actor husband Owen Moore. I could really use some self-care with smart water and Aveeno lotion, but they aren't invented yet. That's a Jennifer Aniston joke. I don't know if anyone got that. Then on March 28, 1920, Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks Sr. finally got hitched in what the tabloids called the wedding of the century. And old Dougie really played up to the press by buying his new bride a wedding gift of a palatial Beverly Hills estate, which featured the neighborhood's very first swimming pool that they called Pickfair. The estate, that is. Not just the swimming pool. But their honeymoon didn't seem all that relaxing considering how it was international news, and they attracted massive crowds everywhere they went. Not to mention, because of the gender roles of the day, Mary felt compelled to issue a wire press service announcement that no, she would not be quitting her job just because she got married. And even though Dougie especially would get down in the dumps if Mary's star ever outshone his, for the most part they were happy and tremendously successful. That is until the talkies came to town. And that audio technology of the late 1920s was the death knell for the silent era that Derry had dominated. And transitioning their stardom from silent to sound was way more of a hurdle for old Dougie than Mary. You see, 1929 was a pretty good year for Mary Pickford because she snagged her first leading actress Oscar for her role in Coquette. But for old Dougie, the best thing he got was a co-starring role with Mary P. in The Taming of the Shrew, which was a massive flop.
Going from silent films to talkies was kinda hard for me, I don't know why.
But much like Gigli for Ben Affleck and J.Lo, the Shakespearean adaptation proved the beginning of the end for the couple, with them gradually drifting apart, staying separated for a few years, and finally getting divorced in 1936, once Douglas Fairbanks Sr. made it adamantly clear that no, he was not gonna quit sleeping with his mistress, Lady Sylvia Ashley. Darling, don't hate the player, hate the game. So little surprise then that when Mary Pickford, whom Entertainment Weekly has called the Angelina Jolie of her day, finally filed the papers for a divorce, old Dougie said, no contest.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
And now 80 years and a lot more kids involved later, Brangelina is just doing the same thing all over again. So really, is Derry the original Brangelina, or is Brangelina just the new Derry? Kind of like almond milk.